Land Rover, above and beyond.
You are watching the SEC on ESPN. UGA is outside here on the campus of the University of Georgia in Athens as the Bulldogs, unbeaten at home so far this season, welcome in
Land Rover, above and beyond.
You are watching the SEC on ESPN. UGA is outside here on the campus of the University of Georgia in Athens as the Bulldogs, unbeaten at home so far this season, welcome in number 13 Tennessee. The Lady Vols, already with a couple of conference losses, have lost back-to-back home games for the first time in 23 years, and now they come in to Athens. Take a look at the SEC standings, and right now Kentucky is on the ropes as they are about to lose to Ole Miss, which would give the Rebels their first win in the conference. Kentucky will fall to 2-2. Kentucky is the team that just beat Tennessee in Knoxville, so things are crazy in the SEC. Pam Ward, along with Carolyn Pack, and a lot of Lady Vol fans certainly not used to this many losses, are wondering what's going on.
Now that's what you call crazy.
Yeah.
And I think the reason being, it's two things. One is Tennessee's ability to defend the three-point line. It's been an area of where they've struggled. And also senior Mimi Jackson, she's only made one field goal in the last two games, 1 for 16. So look for her to get back on track today.
And it has been 1986, 33 years ago, since their last three-game losing streak. And they're going to be taking on a Georgia team that played very valiantly in Starkville. They led Mississippi State in the fourth quarter. Kalia Robinson really was tremendous in that game.
You know, so far this season in big games, she hasn't been able to step up, but against Tierra McCowan in the post game of Mississippi State, Pam, she gave them 26 points. She got it inside. She was scoring outside. She ran the floor in transition. She also did a nice job on the glass. She had 6 rebounds. She had 4 blocks. So Coach Joni Taylor of Georgia is looking for a repeat performance from Kalia Robinson.
She really is super talented. There you see the numbers for Robinson. We had an opportunity to visit her the last couple of games, very soft-spoken. But when her game is going, she is tremendous. And Ole Miss, it is a final. Ole Miss has defeated Kentucky 55-49 on the road. So that is a terrific win for Ole Miss, and we are underway. Georgia wearing their usual home reds today.
Tennessee starting out in a zone defense. Really, Gabby Connolly is the main three-point shooter for Georgia.
Donetta Johnson missed. Robinson picks up right where she left off in Starkville. Starting lineups, the usual 5 for Ollie Warlick's team, a very young club. Renaya Davis got fouled on the way to the basket. Tennessee coming in 12-3 on the year. Losses to Stanford in addition to Missouri and Kentucky, and there are the starters for Georgia.
Well, and having Donetta Johnson, freshman, in the lineup, that's another option from the three-point line if Tennessee's going to stay in a zone.
Jackson getting it inside, and Geraldine Green with the miss. Ball kicked around a little bit. And a reset for the Lady Vols. Mimi Jackson needed that. As Carolyn referenced, Mimi Jackson in the last couple of games has really struggled. 1 for 16, including 0 for 9 in that loss to Missouri.
Well, Jackson, I talked to her before the game. She said she'd gotten in some extra shots. She was feeling good in Athens early on, so that's a bright spot to hit your first three-point attempt.
Tennessee has dominated this series, winning 11 of the last 12. Robinson left it short, rebounding. Paul couldn't get it. It's knocked around and stays with Georgia. Michael McConnell, Carla Fountain, and Julie Cromanhook, our officials. And Joni Taylor is going to have a baby next month, and she is wired. We will be hearing from her from time to time as she's wearing the microphone for us this afternoon in her 4th year in charge of Georgia, coming off a terrific season last year in which they won 26 games.
And pregnancy doesn't slow Coach Joni Taylor down. When we covered at Mississippi State, oh, there goes Kalia Robinson. Joni Taylor's still running an 8:30 mile.
Which most of us can't do regardless of status. Sheridan Green getting inside, the redshirt senior from London, England. He's been averaging almost a double-double in SEC games, and Carla Fountain calls a foul out on the perimeter. And it is against the other Green, Zay Green, who has upped her numbers in SEC play so far this season for the Lady Vols. Taja Cole, the transfer, gets it over, and Connolly, who is the reigning co-player of the week in the SEC, buries it. Had 29 big points against Vanderbilt last week. Georgia takes it away. Robinson in the open court. This is one thing that makes her dangerous. She can bring the ball up, but then too fine of a pass by Connolly results in a turnover.
Well, you watch Tennessee's defense close out. Zay Green, you cannot give Gabby Connolly that much room. You have got to force her to put the ball on the floor or to pass. You've got to make her give it up.
And in the 3 losses for Tennessee, they have been damaged by their opponent's three-point shooting. That's a nice look inside to Zay Green, the freshman from Duncanville, Texas.
Tennessee extending their defense now with this 1-2-2 three-quarter court press, and then dropping back into a zone.
Joni Taylor says she wants to make it into a half-court game. Robinson, boy, that's a sweet look from Cole. Kalia Robinson off to a tremendous start with 6 points. Now the giveaway. Cole cut off by Green, but Connolly running the court, couldn't get it to finish. There was a lot of contact and no foul, but Georgia holds on to the ball. Taja Cole, second year at Georgia, played her freshman year at Louisville. One of 3 lefties for Joni Taylor. He's been the starting point guard the last couple of years for the Bulldogs. And that is thrown towards Holly Warlick on the Tennessee bench. That is the second turnover now for the Bulldogs.
Now, points off turnovers really hurt Georgia against Mississippi State. So that's an unforced turnover. Those are the kind of turnovers that will drive a coach nuts.
Held ball, possession arrow, though, keeps it with Tennessee. Mississippi State, 30 of their 80 points came off Georgia turnovers on Thursday night. That's a killer. Zay Green left it short. Both teams crashing the boards. Taja Cole has lost a sneaker, so she's in the back court. Contact and a charge on Robinson.
Now Mimi Jackson, she gets there, she gets set before Robinson gets into gathering to go up into her shooting motion. Right there, Robinson should have just pulled up for a jumper.
First foul on Robinson. A very good crowd here at Stegman Coliseum, where Georgia has yet to lose a game this season. That's an air ball thrown up by Davis, but it's off a Bulldog. Renai Davis has yet to score, second leading scorer on this team, and hits just under 50% of her threes on the season, and that's coming right back to Georgia.
Pam, you saw emotion from Kalia Robinson. She got excited about that call. Is that a sign that she is starting to feel like she needs to be that go-to takeover for the Bulldogs?
Sheridan Green called for the foul. Here's the first substitution. Cassie Kushkitwa coming in. 6'4" sophomore from Atlanta, missed 3 games in early December with a knee issue. And since she's come back from that injury, she has averaged less than 2 points a game. They are not getting a lot from their bench, scoring-wise.
They need to be able to have like that punch, that scoring, and the only person that's been that for Tennessee has been freshman Jasmine Massengale.
Cole with both sneakers on. Rimming out. Robinson hitting the boards again. And the officials say it goes over to Tennessee. Tennessee has 4 rebounds in this game, all of them off the offensive glass, and Avina Westbrook, leading scorer for the Lady Vols.
Westbrook, Zay Green, they are looking to attack, going right, strong right against this Georgia defense.
Westbrook's first points. She has 7 20-point games this season. Paul back rims it. Now Westbrook brings it up. All freshman performer last year in the SEC. Team that lost Jamie Nard, Mercedes Russell, having to fill some gaps. And a timeout on the floor. Georgia and Tennessee tied up at 9 apiece in Athens.
Land Rover, above and beyond.
It won't help you drive or pivot. It won't improve your shot because it's not a shoe. It's life insurance. With John Hancock Vitality, the healthy things you do are your discounts and rewards.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Tennessee and Georgia, the 2 winningest programs in college basketball. The best basketball player in the building is Teresa Edwards.
A fantastic alumni that played here at Georgia. And I'll tell you, Pam, I played against her when I was a freshman, sophomore. I got to start as a freshman. We got the jump ball. I don't know how that happened. But then, of course, we turned the ball over. All of a sudden, Katrina McClain sprints past me, and I see Teresa Edwards throw the ball. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm still standing at half court, and I went, oh, crap. She's going to dunk it. Coach Phil Lee called a timeout just for me, and he said, Carolyn, if you're going to just sit there and watch, you're going to have to pay admission to get into this ball game.
They were incredibly talented players, and Teresa Edwards will join us, sit down with us later in the game, as we certainly look forward to that. One of the all-time great basketball players and a solid human being as well. So we look forward.
4-time gold medal Olympian.
Yep.
2-time All-American while she was a player here at Georgia.
There were about 40 former Lady Bulldogs are in attendance. Alumni Day. Coach Andy Lander is supposed to be in the building later on, so it's quite a day as they take on Tennessee. Coach Kiddawa got the last bucket for Tennessee as they took the lead. Zay Green, just as the shot clock was expiring, and the ball goes over to the Bulldogs. Joni Taylor was an assistant under Coach Landers for 4 years before she got the top job. That is 4 turnovers now for Tennessee. Georgia has missed their last 4 shots after a hot start.
One of the things Joni Taylor talked about, when you're not making shots, though, you can't have defensive breakdowns.
She thought they just had too many defensive breakdowns against Mississippi State. Westbrook a little bit too strong, and an offensive board for Green. Jackson, 2 for 2 from distance, and she gave herself a little fist pump.
You know, a lot of times if shooters, when you see that first one go in, that basket starts to swell. It gets a little bit bigger as your confidence builds.
Again, 1 for 16 from the floor in the last 2 games, both losses. Tennessee has scored the last 7 points, and Georgia has thrown it away. Paul being replaced now by Jenna Stady, a redshirt sophomore transfer from Maryland, who played very well against Mississippi State, had 5 blocks on Thursday.
Well, and she also hit a 3 when pulled Tiara McCowan away from the basket, so she's got that in her arsenal. And against Tennessee's zone, that should open things up for Kyle Robinson inside.
And the foul now against Georgia. Joni Taylor wired today.
Go rebound, get back. And then guys, you gotta go rebound the basketball. You have gotta be committed to doing that. But then once they have it, you've gotta sprint back. Everybody, sprint back. Play your butt off. When you get tired, I promise we'll get you out and get you back in. But you can't not rebound the ball down here, okay?
I like that promise. Sprint your butt back. Go as hard as you can. And when you need a blow, I'll get you back in. That's what every player wants to hear.
Tennessee is out rebounding Georgia by 5 right now, and Gabby Connolly on that last trip just picked up her second foul. That's big. There's Connolly, who's their best shooter. That's a miss. Hubbard got good position and was fouled. Kayla Hubbard, a freshman from Jonesboro, Georgia, coming in off the bench, so a couple of subs in right now with Stady and Hubbard. Georgia has not scored in almost 5 minutes in this 9-0 Tennessee run. Massengill picked up the foul to put Hubbard on the line. Hubbard is majoring in biochemistry and molecular biology, your old majors.
Not even close. Not even close. Those were my minors.
Yeah, a little bit of a hesitation, a little bit of a delay. Now the ball gets over to Hubbard, 70% free throw shooter. Emily Warlick having a conversation with Mimi Jackson, who now steps on the line, excuse me.
But free throws have been kind of a tough area for both of these teams in the bottom half of the SEC and SEC game field goal percentage.
And Georgia just shooting 65% from the line. Tennessee at 67%. And they had 12 misses in the loss to Kentucky. Both of those losses were 2-point losses to Kentucky and Missouri. And that's too strong off Kushkitwa's fingers. Tennessee does take a lot of free throws, 12th in the nation in attempts, but 216th in percentage, 216 out of 351 teams, so approximately the bottom third of the nation. Robinson, and Georgia's gone cold from the floor.
Well, and they're not getting second chance opportunities either. It's one and done.
Massengill, sort of a funky shot, but she buries it, the freshman from Chattanooga.
Contributions from Tennessee's bench. Jasmine Massengill already starting early in this first quarter.
Inside, Kushkitwa with the stuff. Hubbard in trouble, able to dribble out. It's been over 5.5 minutes since Georgia's hit a field goal. 2-on-1, Westbrook, Jackson, Westbrook, that's pretty. And a timeout taken by Joni Taylor. Georgia got off to a good start, but Tennessee with the blitz going on, up 10.
Hey, how you doing? Phil, are you guys good with brakes?
We're okay.
Just okay?
We got a saying here. The brakes don't stop it, something will.
That's not a real saying.
It is around here. I wrote it.
Just okay is not okay, especially when it comes to your network. AT&T is America's best wireless network according to America's biggest test. Now with 5GE. More for your thing. That's our thing.
These days, we all feel a little anxious sometimes. So I'm partnering with Cigna to remind you that how you're doing emotionally affects you physically. Go for your annual checkup and be open with your doctor about anything you're feeling, physically and emotionally, body and mind.
Welcome back. Number 1 Duke and number 7 Kansas going to highlight our Big Monday men's doubleheader on ESPN starting at 7 Eastern time. Then we'll take you to Allen Fieldhouse for Texas, Kansas. Both games also on the ESPN app. You can watch anywhere. Duke almost lost the other day.
Oh, Florida State had them against the ropes. It was so close. When those two teams meet, it's always a battle.
Well, Georgia, after the timeout, trying to get on the scoreboard. Stady doubled and tripled down there, unable to get it off. Georgia's now missed its last 10 shots, whereas Tennessee has hit 6 of 7, hence the 10-point advantage. Westbrook using her body really well. She's got a half a dozen.
Tennessee is built to score points in the paint. Scoring from the three is like icing on the cake. So when Tennessee stays in that aggressive mentality, it seems like, it all starts coming together.
Cole to Robinson. Tennessee 14 points in the paint and a couple of threes from Mimi Jackson. Hubbard couldn't handle them. And things have gone south quickly here for Georgia.
Unforced turnovers.
Georgia team that is first in the SEC in field goal percentage defense, but not today. Tennessee has hit 63% of their shots from the floor, and they have a chance to take the last one in the quarter. Jackson to Kushkitwa, who couldn't get it off in time. But Tennessee on a 15-1 run to end that quarter. They hit 7 of their last 8 shots.
These two, Westbrook and Jackson, like Batman and Robin, when they get rolling, man, Tennessee is hard to stop.
This season marks nearly 85 years of SEC tradition. At Johnsonville, we respect heritage. We've been making premium sausage since 1945. We're heading back to SEC country to earn our fans. On every campus, at every tailgate, every big game, all the way to the championship. Get fired up for game day, made the Johnsonville way.
Hey, what is it?
I realize I love you, but as long as you're with Jessica, there can never be anything between us.
Cassie, there's no need to cry. Besides, I've got really great news.
You're leaving Jessica?
No. I just saved a load of money on my car insurance by switching to Geico. I saved. I thought that meant something to you.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
UFC fans, this is the moment you truly all been waiting for.
Welcome back to Athens, Georgia. Tennessee, a 15-1 run to close out that first quarter. They're up a dozen. Georgia missed its last 10 shots. That's 2 straight quarters in which they have missed their last 10 shots. That's how they ended the game at Mississippi State on Thursday when they gave up a fourth quarter lead.
Well, but then in the second half, Georgia settled in. So will they find that execution offensively? Because right now they looked a little discombobulated in how to really figure out how to go against that zone.
There was discombobulation certainly going on. And also Tennessee shot 63% in the first half. There's 11 straight misses now. First quarter, excuse me, 63% for Tennessee. 11 straight misses for Georgia. Mimi Jackson attacks the basket and draws the foul. Q Morrison in the game for the Bulldogs, number 23. Now they're going to call a foul on Mimi Jackson.
Initially had called that a block and then changed it after the officials had conferred, calling the charge.
That is the first foul on Jackson.
That is close. Just a matter of, did Q Morrison establish position before Mimi Jackson gathered to get into her shooting motion?
Robinson, still nothing doing. Stady finally breaks the drought after 12 straight misses from the floor for Georgia. Kushkitwa couldn't get it to go. Stady comes up with the miss. Quickly gets it over to Taja Cole. Caitlin Hose is in the game as Stady missed badly. Caitlin Hose, number 10 for Georgia in the game, a freshman from Hazel Green, Alabama, who did not play at all against Mississippi State on Thursday.
Well, she's been suffering from a sprained plantar fasciitis.
Yep, that kept her on the shelf for the last 4 games. So we'll see how long Hose will be able to play on that foot. We did see her participate in shoot-around this morning. Amy Collins is in for Tennessee, number 4, freshman post player from Waldorf, Maryland. Off the mark, rebound, put back, won't go. Couple of chances for Sheradine Green. Cole for Robinson, will step back for some separation. Westbrook and Tennessee pushing.
Now, the thing that Joni Taylor told us is they want to control the transition game. They only want this game to be run in one direction, and right now, up and down, back and forth, that plays to Tennessee's favor.
Shot clock at 8. And Jackson kicked off her foot, landed in Green's hands, and then Cole kicked it. Tennessee hangs on to it.
Georgia's been fortunate that Tennessee has not turned those turnovers into points. And they got to be careful. That's extra possessions for the Lady Vols.
Collins stops. Off the rim, they're going to get Green. Sheradine for going over the back, and that is 2 on Green. Healthy this year. You could tell just by looking at her, she's in terrific shape, was dealing with some injuries last year.
She's been a monster on the glass. She had 14 rebounds against Missouri, 15 against Kentucky, and 8 of those were offensive rebounds.
She's going to get a break with the 2 personal fouls. Second year here with Tennessee. She's the first international player ever signed by Tennessee from England. Robinson thought about it.
Robinson's got to stay in the play, though. Stay in the play. Even if the play's not run perfectly correct, stay in the play. Taja Cole stays in the play, attacking, and she's a lefty. She's going to go strong to the left.
Yeah, Cole gives him a burst of energy. Her first bucket of the game.
Just the hesitation, change of speed goes right by Jasmine Massengale and Renia Davis.
She is leading the SEC in assists, just under 7 per game.
She's a tough competitor. You see it every play. She's battling.
Stady with the turn and the miss. Tennessee has now gone cold. They've missed 6 straight shots. Massengale makes it with a banker. Jasmine with 4 points off the bench. Gets the lead back up to 10. Cole, this time from the outside, left it short. And another one and done for the Bulldogs. Hose stuck her hand in there to force the turnover. Q Morrison gets it up to Robinson, and she finishes.
Morrison tricked me. I thought she was kicking out to the perimeter, but then, Georgia, you can't celebrate after you win. You got to get back with that transition defense.
And Ray Burrell able to get inside for the bucket. One of 4 freshmen who get playing time on this young Tennessee team. Robinson, good look at it, but missed the jumper. And then the finish again on the other end. This time it's Westbrook. Stady can't finish.
Man, that's a backbreaker because that's an easy opportunity for Georgia to get 2 points back. And then Renia Davis, really that turns into that's a 4-point swing.
And that is the first basket for Renia Davis, who missed her first 3. Renia does, however, have 8 rebounds. Robinson, no. State, he can't get it.
The thing that Robinson's not doing is she's shooting the ball, but on a miss, she's got to go get the rebound, and then you cannot not get back in transition because Tennessee's going to make you play every time. Need to have that safety to get back because Tennessee is red hot right now.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance? Did the little piggy cry wee, wee, wee all the way home?
Max. Maxwell!
Yeah?
You're home.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Mrs. A.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Sweat! Dedication!
Cupcakes!
We played football together for the Titans.
Now, we own a cupcake shop. I love this new Surface Pro. It's light, it's sleek, it's fast. Cupcakes are a great business.
As long as you don't need the profits.
Thank you very much, Brickley and Nale Fortner. How about Ole Miss? We had them earlier in the year, and we thought they were going to get some people this year.
I don't know if they're going to be able to get to the postseason, but they were going to be a dream killer because they are a dangerous team with how hard they play.
Crystal Allen, 26 points in the second half. Congrats to Ole Miss, who took out Kentucky, who took out Tennessee on Thursday.
Anything can happen in the SEC.
Georgia trying to get some things going. They are getting crushed in the paint, crushed in fast break points, and are down by 14 to the Lady Vols, who come in with back-to-back losses, both of them at home, trying to avoid 3 straight losses for the first time since the 2016-2017 season. Check that, the 85-86 season. It was 3 straight conference losses they had a few years ago, but they had a win over Notre Dame snuck in there, so it was not 3 consecutive losses. Again, they've not lost 3 straight games in 33 years.
Yeah, that's a history element you don't want to break.
No, you don't want that to stay intact. And a foul underneath.
Tennessee is really doing a nice job, though, of getting in the paint, not settling, as Holly Warlick says, quick shooting the basketball. She wants them to attack, play from the inside out.
Tanetta Johnson was just whistled for her first foul for Georgia. Tennessee's current run is 6-0, and then Caldwell picked up a quick foul for the Bulldogs. Here's a giveaway to Tanetta Johnson underneath, and that's just low percentage pass, trying to get it into Stephanie Paul, who was not ready for it. 9 turnovers for the Dogs. Again, 22 turnovers Thursday at Mississippi State led to 30 points for State. And Carla Fountain's going to get a foul away from the ball, an offensive foul on Mimi Collins. That is her first. Third on Tennessee. Georgia just with a couple of team fouls.
Tennessee still in that 1-2-2 zone.
Hose, nothing doing. And another rebound. That's a hard foul as Johnson picked up her second, stepping in the way of Burrell. So that sends Ray Burrell, the freshman from Las Vegas, to the line. ACC doubleheader highlights Super Tuesday on ESPN, starting right here in beautiful Athens. This is men's basketball. Carolyn John Calipari in Kentucky coming in. Then it's North Carolina taking on Notre Dame. Both games live on the ESPN app. You can watch anywhere. Super Tuesday presented by Boost Mobile.
Keep an eye, Pam, when Georgia shoots the ball, there's not a guard really getting back, sprinting back to rim protect in transition.
Paul got stuffed But Georgia hangs on with 19 seconds to shoot. Tennessee has doubled up the Bulldogs. Came in with high expectations. Paul got hacked by Collins.
Be ready to keep shooting the basketball. Don't get frustrated with that. Those are good shots, okay?
Coach still giving her team confidence because, you know, Tennessee or Kentucky went on that drought. They were missing shots, and a lot of times teams and especially young players start dropping their head or losing their confidence. And you hear Joni tell her team, listen, those are good shots. She didn't have a problem with the kind of shots. Now they just got to see them go in.
Stephanie Paul, 0 for 2. 77% free throw shooter, one of the better ones on this team, but she couldn't get either one to go down. Georgia losing to Mississippi State, but they were one of only 2 teams to have a fourth quarter lead on Mississippi State this year, the other being Oregon, the only team to beat them this year. Shot clock winding down for Westbrook, who leaned in. Shot clock did not reset because there was no iron drawn, and now a foul on Tennessee as they tried to battle for another offensive rebound. And we asked Coach Taylor at shoot-around today, do you get kind of heartened? You lose to Mississippi State, which stinks, but was she encouraged by that close loss? And she said no. The encouraging thing, though, is her team is so much better than they were in November. Yes,
but she did not take that loss to Mississippi State as a moral victory. She said, as tough as the SEC is to get over that hump, those are the type of games you've got to close out and you've got to win. Because you remember in the fourth quarter, they were up 3 and then just were not able to seal the deal.
Yeah, they missed their last 10 shots. She said they had quick shots, turnovers. They blew some defensive assignments in crunch time. But again, they were one of only 2 teams to lead Mississippi State in the fourth quarter this year, and that's saying something.
And when you can match Mississippi State points in the paint, that was even. That battle was even, 42 to 42.
Because the only other team that beat them in points in the paint was Oregon.
That's
again,
right.
The only team to beat them.
That's correct.
But Coach Joni was having nothing about that. It was a pretty good effort. She's like, no, we lost, man. That's not acceptable.
Well, and what she wants to see is, players like Kalia Robinson in the big games against the ranked teams to show up and play the way Kalia Robinson did. She had 26 points against Mississippi State.
Terrific. Got off to a good start in this game. We do have a couple of WNBA head coaches, general manager types in the building today. Kalia Robinson has been projected as a second-round pick. Doug Feinberg of the AP polling WNBA coaches and general managers, and they have her in the second round.
Well, they also have keeping an eye on Mimi Jackson as well, the senior for Tennessee.
It's going to be a very interesting draft in the spring.
You think?
No clear-cut number 1 like last year when it was the Asia Wilson show. Here's Robinson showing her stuff. Count it, she says. And more emotion from Kalia. Love it.
All day. I can remember watching this young woman play as a freshman and sophomore, and I thought that by the time we got here, she would be either first or second pick in the WNBA draft just because of the versatility of her game.
Completes the three-point play after being fouled by Renaya Davis. And the fans, with 2 minutes to go in the half, wanting Georgia to push it and try to dent this lead. Georgia just 1 of 9 from 3.
But just watch, when Georgia shoots the ball, who is the safety back to protect against Tennessee's transition?
Shot clock into single digits. Paul's got to shoot it. And 1 of 10 from 3 for Georgia. Cole got back, contact, no call. She and Westbrook met. Pushkittua can't finish. And the ball goes over to Georgia. Tennessee now out-rebounding Georgia by 11.
Going into the half, Georgia needs to try to at least cut this lead to 10.
Hugh Morrison. You see the length too, the Tennessee guards. That was one of the concerns for Joni Taylor. Morrison discernibly shorter. Paul got inside and scored a tough bucket. Inside a minute. And Westbrook slows it down, calls a play. Kidwa set the screen and then rolled to the basket, and that's a blocking foul on Georgia. It'll be on Hubbard.
I think because I don't know if Hubbard got outside the restricted area. No, she was there. But was she set in time? No, she wasn't there before Green got into the act of her shooting motion.
First foul on Hubbard sends Green to the line. At 9 points off the bench in the loss to Kentucky on Thursday. Nope. A lane violation against Tennessee wipes out that free throw. Tennessee 4 for 4 from free throws, or on free throws before that. Not after not shooting the ball well at all from the line against Kentucky.
Now Tennessee in a 2-3.
Cole trying to kill as much of the remaining time as possible. Robinson posting up, they reverse it. Hubbard driving on Davis. Robinson, what a putback! Kalia Robinson strutting her stuff, showing why she is considered to be a really good pro prospect. She's got 13 points.
She has shown a lot of emotion. She has made the big plays to possibly keep Georgia in the game. Nothing bigger than the putback to end the half.
Dodge halftime report coming up. You are watching the SEC on ESPN. The second half about to get underway in Athens. Tennessee, losers of 2 straight ball games, both at home. On the road, leading Georgia now by 12. Pam Ward along with Carolyn Peck. And for Joni Taylor, the head coach for Georgia, one of her big keys going into this game was to stop Tennessee's transition. That has not worked so far in this game.
And I think what Georgia has done is they've gotten too concerned about missing shots, and when they take shots, they're crashing the boards. Well, what does that do? That leaves nobody back for Tennessee, and Tennessee is taking full advantage of it. The other thing that Georgia is not doing is picking up the ball. Look how deep the dribbler, ball handler is able to get, never stopped. Defensively, you need to try to find the ball handler at least by the top of the key and make her make some decisions, because when you've got a point guard like Evina Westbrook, she will pick you apart in transition.
Kalia Robinson needs some help, Carolyn Peck.
She does. She has had a tremendous first half, 13 points. She's been aggressive offensively. But remember, Gabby Conley spent the majority of the first half on the bench in foul trouble. That's the other 3-point shooter for Georgia.
Robinson and Cole, the starting backcourt, averaging about 25 points per game between them, only combined for 5 in the first half. And again, Kalia Robinson, 13 points on 6 of 12 shooting. The rest of the team, just 11 points on 17% shooting. And there you see Georgia just 1 of 10 from 3, not known really for their 3-point shooting.
Well, Georgia, too, has had opportunities in the paint, a 5-second count. The Bulldogs turning up the defense. But Georgia has missed shots in the paint. Stady missed in the paint. Paul was missing in the paint. So when you get those opportunities that close, you got to finish.
Georgia shooting only 28% in the first